All right. Hello, everyone. So, obviously, today, because there's a rebirth of spirituality within Judaism, something that I've been kind of advocating for a while, to reclaim the spirituality of Judaism that has been kind of lost and has been taken by, meaning misused, misinterpreted. You have the Kabbalah Center, and you have the different, so-called Mikubalim. You have the Russian Mikubalim. You have the Ain Arad lady from Israel. You have all that type of stuff. I know Russians are very spiritual and very. Also, they have a lot of superstitions in there. Bukharians do. The Sephardim more than anybody else. Thanks to the Sephardim, in a way, we kept the spirituality of Judaism alive with the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah has been hidden for a long time, and now finally, in the past 100 years, Kabbalah exploded and became popular again. And as predicted by the Zohar, that in the beginning of the 6th millennium, all the doors, the gates of heaven are going to open, and Kabbalah and science and all that is going to start to emerge and come back, so that we can little by little get ready on the conscious level, on the spiritual level, for God's revelation, because, if we are not ready, and God say, "Hey, I'm here," it's gonna be like a shock, Already for 2012, people were jumping out of the going crazy just because of the date and the Mayan calendar and all that. So, can you imagine when Moshe is gonna reveal himself? It's gonna be a shock for a lot of people and panic. So, Kabbalah started to become more and more revealed as a preparation for humanity to become aware of how the world works and what's going on and what we need to get ready for. And Judaism, little by little, started bringing back all its spirituality. And nowadays, astrology is starting to become more and more popular, more and more accepted and real. In the past, it was very astrology, you can use, especially the horoscope of that. People were very afraid because in Judaism, we say Ein Mazal Israel. That's one of the most famous sentences that almost every Jew knows. There's no constellation, Israel is not trapped by the astrological powers, which there's a part of truth to it, but it's not completely true either. So I brought all the books that you might want to buy if you want to really go into astrology. But astrology is a very real thing, interesting. Avram Avinu, the first of all the Jews, right? The first real Jew, so to speak. He was a master of astrology. That's why he was known. People used to come to him, the kings used to come to him to get advice on astrology. When you had the knowledge of astrology, you were considered very powerful. Egypt at the time, right? Everything that happened with Paro, with throwing the Jewish babies and all that, it was all based on astrology. They were calculating everything based on that, on those understanding. And okay. So it says in the Torah itself, in the 5th book of the Torah, Devarim, it says that we will be a light unto the nation, and we will be like the wisdom that we have. People are going to look up at us and say, "Wow, what a great people they are! Look at their wisdom." And so some of the commentaries explain what wisdom is it referring to? The wisdom of astrology. Especially because in the past, if you knew the wisdom of astrology, which one of the highest form of wisdom, say someone who is the biggest Talmid Chacham, the greatest sages the great sages eventually, to complete their knowledge, they know astrology. It's considered one of the highest level of science because you understand how the universe works, basically, you know. So like you work at NASA, you know, you consider that pretty cool, work at NASA, you know, you understand how the world works, the system. Okay, so let me show you some of the books that will, so this is actually a very interesting book that just came out, and I was very happy to see it. It's called Kosher Astrology. Okay, Kosher Astrology that just came out and really goes in depth, brings all the sources from Tanakh, from Chazal, and it's very, very good. It's a guy who has a lot of experience and he studied everything in depth, and he brings you everything, the different forms of astrology, the forbidden ones, and the ones that are allowed. So Kosher Astrology, very good, by Rabbi Yitzchak Aaron Pincus. He has Askama and everything. And okay, another one that is interesting if you want to go a little bit more in depth, is called Jewish Astrology, a Cosmic Science, Torah, Talmud, and Zohar Works on Spiritual Astrology by Yaakov Cronenberg. That's also very good. That's it's a lot to study, but it has a lot of information about how it works. And one that I've been using for years, about to go understand, okay, if you're born, depending on which month you're born, it's called About the Zodiac. It's very good by Matityahu Glaserson. It's a very good, if you want to have an idea, okay, what's this month about? So let's try to understand a bit the system. What else did I bring? One more? Oh. Another cool book is Signs of the Times, which actually goes through Jewish calendar and tells you why the holidays are connected to the specific month, and it also gives sometimes a small description about the challenge or the characteristic of someone born on that month. Okay, and this book one of my favorite book. It's called Jewish Wisdom of the Numbers. That's not going to astrology, but obviously we have the 12 signs of the zodiac, and in Judaism, every number has. We live in a matrix, right? Everybody has watched the Matrix. I think by 2025, everybody, I assume, is expert in the Matrix, right? What reality is. So we live in a matrix. Everything is numbers, letters, vibration, frequencies. We are all vibrant beings. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. And this world works like a clock. It's like a system that is very precise, and those who learn how, and that's what Kabbalah does. Kabbalah enables you to understand how does the system work. Because if you understand how the system works, then you're able to be in harmony with the system, and benefit from all the good that God created in that system, and stay away from all the negative that exists in that system. If the negativity doesn't come really from God, it comes from humans' mistakes, failure to do what's right. But once you understand how it works, it's much easier. It's much easier and much more enjoyable. You understand why things are the way they are. What's the purpose? Where we're going. So here, the number 12, right? Number 12, it says, right? So you have obviously the 12. 12 is, and I think it's good to start with that. You have a cube, right? You have the cube has 12 components, 12 edges, right? Which is basically space and time. It's a space. So in a way, it's as if you look at the 12 constellations that exist in the spirit. It's like what creates space and time. The Torah says that God created the stars as a system for time, so that we can calculate the timing. There can be a cycle, and all the holy days should be a sign for us to know what's happening, what energy happens during that specific time. Interestingly, I don't know if you ever thought of it that way, but there's something called the spheros, right? Spheros are there's 10 spheros. God created the world with 10 powers, 10 statements, those 10 energies. And so you go into Kabbalah, that's what they speak. They speak about the spheros all the time, right? And in a way, every star is like a sphera, right? A sphera takes God's energy and brings it and filters it and brings it. It's whatever God wants to do in this world has to go through the spheros and has to go through the stars. So to speak, whatever needs to happen, so let's say summertime, right? So let's give it as an example. The sun, the rotation of the earth around the sun. So in the summer we come closer, the rotation goes closer to the sun, so everything is warmer. So the sun gives its energy. So you can imagine a system where like you have a sphere and an energy, and that energy comes in the summer. There's the summer energy, and then the spring energy, the 4 seasons, as you know. And so we have 12 signs of the zodiac. We have the 12 tribes of the Jewish people, right? And those are all interconnected, right? And we have the 12th month of the year, the 12 hours of the day, the 12 months. The Jewish people have 12 months. I was thinking of the non-Jewish calendar.
Well,
Also.
There are 2 Adars. There's 12
Right?
months. There are 2 Adars, the...
Right. So there's the 13th. The 13th is the... So the Jewish calendar works based on the lunar, right? Lunar calendar, but it's one of the only, with the Chinese calendar, is the only one that connects the moon cycle and the sun, rectifies, so that things stays at the same time, as opposed to Islam, who only use the lunar calendar, and that's why they have Ramadan at different moments of the year, as opposed to the Jews always have Pesach in spring, and I have Sukkot in the fall time. So every 7 times every 19 years, you have an extra Adar, an extra month to match, reconnect, to stay synchronized with the sun calendar. Now, okay. So those 12. So I want to mention a few people you can listen. There's Rabbi King. If you Google Jewish astrology, Jewish perspective on YouTube, there's a rabbi who is very good. I think it's called Rabbi King. You'll find it right away, and he goes through each month and describes very well. If you're born on which month, what's your personality, your strength. So what's really the most important part of astrology? The most important part is that there's something called the birth chart. The moment you were born, it's a moment where all energies comes from the stars. So which is really like the spheros. So you were born at a specific time. Whatever energy happened at that time where you were born, whatever stars were influencing that moment, you're gonna have. So there's something called the birth chart where you can go on online. You have already those things where it's the whole programs you put when you're born, and it gives you your whole birth chart. Then you need someone who knows how to interpret it, right? So the birth chart basically is going to tell you what's your strength, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. It's going to tell you a little bit about your purpose in life. Also, the 12 months, you have to know each month is correspond to one of the 4 elements: earth, water, air, and fire. Right? So if you go into the where do I have it?
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Two things. The first thing is that don't we know that it says in the Gemara there's a story where there were two astrologers that came over to I'm sure you know this, but it came over to two Jewish people, and they interpreted their future, that they're gonna die the next day,
Right.
or something was gonna happen terrible to them, and they came back the next day and they were still alive.
Right. So we're going to speak about that type of astrology. Right now, I just want to explain the part that is what we call kosher astrology is using the information that is given, that exists in the universe about yourself, about why you're born at that, meaning at that moment. You're born at that moment because your soul came and your soul was given all those energies and strength and qualities necessary for you to then find out with your astrological birth chart, and you can figure out what's my mission in life. Because the most important thing for you, for all of us, is to find out what am I here for. How do you find your mission? That's something I've been really working for years. I have a little pamphlet. Anybody who wants to have the pamphlet about how to find your mission in life. It's one of the way you find your mission is also through the astrology. Not just that, but that's one of the tools we have. So, what you're here for, because the true happiness of a person counts when you feel you're fulfilling your destiny, your mission, because that's when all your strength, all your qualities are being used, and you feel good. You feel I'm fulfilling my purpose. That's one of the search for happiness, search for meaning, is really finding out what's your mission in this world. So the more you delve more about who you are, why you're born at this time, what qualities you were given, what talent you were given, what strength you're given, what challenges you were given. So the birth chart will give you a lot of those details. I just want to share one more thing in the book, which is very interesting. People don't know about that, but this book is called The Hebrew Months in the Shmoneh Esrei. Right, when we pray the Shmoneh Esrei, meaning the silent prayer, the Amidah, we have 12 blessings in the middle. It's 12 or 13, but basically originally was 12. And all 12 blessing requests in the middle are all connected to the 12 signs of the zodiac. And they're connected to 12 tribes. And the whole idea is that when we pray in the Shmoneh Esrei, I'm going to use his words, I think that were very well said. Let's see if I can find it right away. But basically, every blessing downloads into the world. It's a way to bring to the world what the world needs. Oh, here. Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen it expresses that the request in the 12 middle blessings includes all human needs. They correspond to the 12 lunar months and to the 12 tribes. So each tribe has its inborn virtues. One of the things to find your mission in life is to find which tribe you're from. Today we're all mixed up, except if you're Cohen or Levi. But if you're Cohen, you know your mission is a bit more like that. If you're a Levi, right? And based on which tribe you were from, you knew you had a special destiny, a special mission. So it all fits together. So each tribe has its inborn virtues and deficiencies, and therefore must pray to Hashem to provide for its needs. Through prayer, one subjugates all his personal strength to Hashem, for salvation comes exclusively from him. Right? So it's cool to know that when you pray the Shmoneh Esrei, really you're connecting yourself to the entire universe. You're connecting yourself to the stars. You're connecting yourself. That's why in Judaism, the months, Rosh Chodesh, why we celebrate Rosh Chodesh, we try to connect to the energy of the month. We make even a blessing for the moon, right? And actually, some people think we worship the moon. Yeah? We become the moonies. No, we don't worship the moon at all. That's why the halacha is when you do Kiddush Levana, when you make that special prayer on Rosh Chodesh for the moon, you're not supposed to pray towards the moon, you're supposed to pray towards the east, so that people don't think you're worshiping the moon. Because one of the things that people used to do in the past, they used to worship the stars. Because they thought that by worshiping the stars, they would be able to, here in the book, he calls it the astral magic, right? Which is forbidden. completely forbidden. You're not allowed to worship the stars. That's why we had the people worship the sun. You know, they have a lot of tribes and cults and all that will worship the star and kill their even people for and do sacrifices and all that for the stars to try to benefit from the energy of specific stars. So this is completely forbidden. We're not worshipping any stars. The only thing that we're allowed to worship is Hashem. But we have to understand that Hashem is above everything. And that's the idea of Ein Mazal Israel, that Israel is not subjugated to Mazalot. Meaning, it is to give a very simple example. Summer is coming. Okay, I'm going to be affected by it? Yeah. I'm going to be affected by it because it's going to be sunny. I'm going to be going outside. It's going to be hot. So if I don't put sunscreen, if I don't put like light garments, I'm going to be super sweaty. I'm going to be affected by the stars. So is that astrology? No. Or horoscope? No, that's fine. This is the same thing with the horoscope. If the horoscope says there might be a negative influence, so the way we use astrology, this month there's a specific energy that's going to come into the world that we're going to be challenged with our faith, or we're going to be challenged with our health, or we're going to be challenged, right? Like whatever we experience in the world. And if you know this is coming, then you're going to take out your sunscreen, or you're going to take out the garment you need to protect yourself. Just like the weather. That's not considered predicting or astrology. This, understanding the system, knowing how to deal with the system, and using it to our advantage and protecting myself from it. Now, you have to know that even someone who does astrology or horoscope, first of all, we're not allowed to predict the future, because when you do that, you're losing your connection with God. You're putting yourself, if you start believing just in the stars, you're going to be subjected by the influence of the stars, because that means you choose to be part of the matrix, and the matrix is going to control you, so to speak. Yeah, if you believe is the stars, then you're going to become attached to that energy. If you know that the only thing that can happen is controlled by Hashem, then you're not subject to the influence of the stars. And you can change your destiny, even though in the horoscope say, oh, you're going to get divorced, or you're going to get sick, or you're going to get this, chas v'shalom, and this and this. No, I'm not. Because, I mean, there might be an influence coming in that way about that, but if I'm going to God, I still have complete free choice and can change my destiny, because we can all rewrite our own destiny to a certain degree, because if you connect directly to God, you can bypass the whole system, right? You can, like Neo, go out of the matrix. You know, it's all from God. So we're not allowed to use astrology to predict the future, and we have to know, and that they all say that someone who read the horoscopes, who's ready to predict the future, it's never 100% accurate. It's never 100% accurate. There's always mistake, because nobody can know the future in details. You can have some general thing, but never in details.
Because the person's mazal keeps on changing, right?
Right. Even based on the place, Shana Makam, Shana Mazal, right? You change place. That's why sometimes say if you move another place, everything changes, because it's interesting. Every part, right? The stars have different control of the different countries on earth, right? There's also the 70 malachim of the 70 nations, which control each thing, and it's connected to the stars and everything. So every star has its angel, right? Stars have a certain level of consciousness. You know that stars also have, each one sings a specific song, a certain frequency. You can actually check on YouTube. They have the sound frequency of the sun and the earth, and you can hear the whole universe is singing all the time, right? Because everything is energy, and it's fascinating. But so what I think it's great is to be able to find out. Okay, I'm born on this month. Okay, which element am I? Am I fire? If I'm born in December, for example, I'm Sagittarius. I'm fire sign, and which you have to try to what it means to be a fire sign. So you have to, they explain what's the connection. December is the darkest month, so bring light into the darkness. Hanukkah, that's when we have fire. It's in the Kislev, month of Kislev. I want to mention before I forget, there's a great class by Ephraim Pavlanov on this, the connection between the Chinese zodiac and the Jewish zodiac. If you want to go a bit deeper into it, it's a great class on YouTube. Very good.
We're allowed to learn this stuff, the Kabbalah, because isn't it?
So the Kabbalah, you have to learn with someone that.
Because the Shulchan Aruch clearly states that you can't learn any Kabbalah until you're fully familiar with the Gemara, the laws.
Yeah, I can bring you 100 proofs that reject that opinion. Yeah. The Rama, can read the Rama only have. No, what you have to do. What they wanted is we don't just read stuff without understanding. You can learn if you have a good teacher with the right kosher books. And yeah, if you don't know the Torah, you're barely gonna understand the Kabbalah because everything's based on the Torah and the Talmud. So why are you gonna start learning, science if you don't know, regular simple stuff?
A lot of people went off the derech with learning Kabbalah.
I don't know so many. You know so many? Yeah. I guess you didn't have a good teacher.
There's Rabbi Hillel and
Yaakov Hillel?
Rabbi Yaakov Hillel.
Right.
He told me himself. He said you shouldn't learn Kabbalah without being fully familiar with the Shulchan Aruch. I think the Arizal.
Right. Yeah. Shulchan Aruch.
The Arizal also brought it down. Huh?
Right. Yeah. No, you need to have the right teacher. If you learn Kabbalah from Yaakov Hillel, you won't go over there.
I know, but some people.
That's what I'm saying. I know, but you gotta. It's right. You have to have the. So yeah, I agree. You don't just learn Kabbalah like that. You're not gonna understand it. You're gonna misinterpret it, and and you're gonna just be spiritual, and you don't even know the halachot, what you're supposed to do every day. First of all, if you learn Judaism, it's so beautiful because, I always give the example. Every morning we wash our hands 3 times in the morning. Why wash your hands 3 times in the morning? Right? Why you don't wash it 5 times? Or 10 times? Or just jump in the mikveh 1 time, that's it. Right? No. So we wash our hands 3 times in the morning because when you sleep, this where we have 5 levels of the soul. So 3 of the levels of your soul leaves your body while you sleep. So when you have a level of soul leaving your body, it creates a vacuum of energy because you have your soul there, right? And it's a vacuum of energy, and that's when the forces of Tumah, when sleeping is like 1/60th of death, so you have a level of Tumah, of impurity, like the death impurity that connects now to your body because you were like dead. What happened when you die? Your soul leaves your body, and the body now. So what happens? Because when those 3 levels of the soul now come back when you wake up, those 3 levels are all they have a clip around it, so to speak. You have the vacuum or the impurity that got attached to you while you were sleeping is still there, and where it goes into the hands and the fingers because that's the place that is the most physical part of our body, so to speak, because everything physical is mostly done with our hands, right? We do things with our hands, so one of the most physical place. So therefore, the Tumah goes always to the most physical place. So what's happening? So we take water and we wash those 3 layers of Tumah, and in order that our soul should be completely clean of any impurity of the night of death. So 1 for the first level, 2 3, and some do 4 just so that there's no water remaining from the 3rd washing. And this way you have removed the 3 layers of impurity that your soul got attached to, or your body got attached to while you were sleeping. So unless you know Kabbalah, you don't know what you're doing. Say, washing hands, cool, But now you understand why it's working. The Kabbalah is the why of everything. Everything you do in Judaism is based on Kabbalah. And it's so important to know those things because it gives so much meaning to it. But obviously, if you don't know halakha, you don't even know what you're doing. So you cannot unlearn the Kabbalah because it doesn't make any sense. So you have to know first what you're doing. The halachos, the laws that we have, is like the physical manifestation of what we have to do to live in a world that is also spiritual. So the Kabbalah will explain to you why you do things. Why do we eat kosher? Because the soul of certain animals, you don't have the power to elevate. It's like you can digest gluten. They don't eat gluten. They eat gluten-free. You have celiac or whatever. You don't digest. If you eat it, you're going to get sick. The same thing with the soul of those animals that are not kosher. You're going to eat, and because whatever you eat, when you eat the animal, you're not only eating its flesh, you're eating also part of its soul. The soul is going to the flesh, right? That's why we're not allowed to be cannibals. Right? But everything physical has a spiritual manifestation. So you're going to eat the animal, but you're going to have a spiritual indigestion. It's not going to work. And your soul is going to be trapped, and you're not going to be able to connect to God. You're going to be blocked spiritually. And all those things, it makes things so much more exciting, because you understand that now we do, Naseh V'Nishma, we do even if we don't understand everything, because there's so much to understand. But at least it gives you meaning and excitement to understand why you're doing what you're doing. It's much more, you can serve God with much more joy. Anyway, so you need the right Rebbe, and that's the hardest, is to find the right rabbi who received his tradition from straight all the way back.
Yeah, but again, there's also Sod and versus Halacha. No?
What?
There's Sod and Halacha. You can't pass in Halacha from Kabbalah. You gotta follow.
Right. Yeah, you can't.
That's why I was saying that you have to
Right, you have to know. Yeah, the best to know both, like the Vinaya Gaon, or.
Yeah, Bible is simple source. He also brings it down at the beginning.
Right. They'll bring it. So the goal is to know a bit of everything. But we are meant to understand why we're doing what we're doing. Don't be a robot. Hashem doesn't want you to fulfill his law like a robot. He wants you to serve him out of love, out of excitement. I like that. Someone who understands what he's doing and therefore is excited to serve Hashem. So astrology is part of that. It's part of finding a purpose, finding what I'm here for. Now, there's look from this book, you will see that there's another chart, which is the life chart, which helps you see certain periods of your life, or you have a difficult moment in your life. You can see, okay, why is this month or this year so difficult? It'll tell you why. Sometimes you can even do shidduch. Shidduch. Now you have to be careful with the shidduch, because Hashem is the one who does the shidduch. It says straight in the Gemara, and but it can help guide us to see if we're compatible, and if it's something that makes sense, to get more clarity. But the choice, remember, is always yours. It's you and Hashem. Also, in terms of speaking about Mikubalim, if a Kabbalist asks you for money, run away from him. It's not a real Kabbalist. A Kabbalist will never ask for money. And if a Kabbalist says, hey, I'm a Kabbalist, you know he's not a Kabbalist. A Kabbalist has to be super humble, right? And he will never brag about being a Kabbalist. Never. Kabbalist hides. That's why you go to Tzfat and you find like a person that nobody knows. Yeah, this Kabbalist, that's a word of mouth. Kabbalists are always hidden, the real Kabbalists. So, and Baruch Hashem, today we say, you can go to Rabbi Yaakov Hillel, we can go. Yeah, there's a few. I don't know that many. I only know one or two, but yeah.
Rabbi Tia Mutzafi is a very big one.
Yeah, from word of mouth, people who went and so. That's a bit the idea of astrology. Is worth looking into it, but The key is to know, really find out your mission, what you're here for, and astrology can help you find a bit more about your qualities. So, for example, let's see, we have here.
Oh, I can ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Does your mission change? Like does constellations change? Right? They also change. So does the
It's
person's
not
mission?
well. You have one general mission. There's things we are all reincarnated souls, right? We're all here a few times already, and right now we're all here to finish. I think the Aristotle says that nowadays there's no more new souls. In our generation, we're all old souls, and we're all here. That's why we have so many troubles in our lives, so to speak. We're all here to rectify whatever we haven't rectified in our previous life. So, some people have more to rectify, some less, but all the challenges we're given are here to rectify, something that we didn't finish or we messed up in the previous life. So we have to, in a way, welcome it and work with it to finish our general mission in this world. But what's very important is to find out, okay, what are your talents? What are you gifted with? All of you, you're like a ball of divine energy. You have to be a light into the world. A light into the Jewish people, a light into the nation. We're supposed to go into the world and give do chesed, what Abraham was doing chesed to everyone. And that's the first Jew. And we have to do chesed with everyone. And by doing chesed with everyone, we inspire everyone to do more chesed and to see that the source of this goodness is the Torah and is Hashem. And when we do that properly, then we can be a light into the nation. And the nation are going to want to learn the Torah, and they're going to want to, the lost souls are going to come back and convert. And at the end of time, we're all going to, the non-Jews are going to recognize that the Jewish nation and the Torah and Hashem. So that's our main general mission, and each one of us has to give its light in its own unique way. Some they're gonna heal people, take care of people. Some people they're gonna gather Jews together to learn about astrology, right? Some people are gonna, they're here to bring children and take care of them, and some people are here to whatever qualities you have, to be singers, right? And to inspire people through singing.
Look at your positives.
Yes, absolutely.
Your positive qualities.
Absolutely. And I'll give you an example. The negative too. Okay, my parents were divorced. In my family, everybody was divorced. So, and I was saying, I don't want to get divorced. I want to do everything. So because of that, I worked very hard on my marriage. I became a social worker, a marriage coach, and I work with a lot of couples. If I hadn't had my parents getting divorced and my whole family getting divorced, maybe I would not have had so much passion I'm going to do everything to make a relationship work. So even though I could see it as something negative, I took it as a positive, that what pushed me to have that fire to help every couple and to help, marriage stay strong. So everyone has to take the part of his life, the dark moment and the good moment, the traumas and the good things, and see that they are all there to build yourself up, to give you the strength, to give you the knowledge, and to give you whatever you need to be able to fulfill your mission. So that takes a little bit of analysis, but.
So what happens in Tchiyat HaMeitim when we all going to get up and all these get ruined?
Oh, very good question. So Tchiyat HaMeitim, this actually is going to happen a few times. It's to purify our body each time. Eventually, Tchiyat HaMeitim, we're going to keep coming until we have finally purified our body. Yeah, but it's going to take about 1,000 years, right? The 7th millennium. So we're going to come back with. That's what it says. The evil people are going to come back with their evilness, you're going to see it on them, right?
No, my question is, since we're all coming down,
Yeah.
you said we're coming down to rectify the past person's mistakes,
Right.
all leading up to the golden calf. So are we gonna be, when Tchilameki comes up, we're all gonna get up from the dead, are we gonna be in the same bodies from the time of the golden calf?
Oh,
Because you understand, we're
that's a good
sharing the
question.
soul, you understand?
So,
How does that
so it depends what you have rectified already or not, but
Unless we could all share a soul, I mean.
right, yeah. No, it's a good question. It's a very common question. It's like which body I'm going to be part of. But the Chazal says that you only come back in the body that has served its purpose. Let's say I come in this life and I don't do any mitzvot, I don't do anything with that body, I don't use that body well. That body is like, it's not even going to come back because you missed that shell, so to speak, has been completely misused and is not worthy of coming back. All the time that you came back and you really use that body with your soul the proper way, then all those bodies are going to come. They're going to be like part of your personality.
So if I sin in my life, I'm not really getting up?
No, it's not this. No, because you can do teshuva. It depends.
No, let's say I didn't do any tshuva.
If you don't do any teshuva and you don't,
I didn't serve my purpose in life, I'm not getting up?
there's less chance.
Less chance.
Much less chance. But it's never too late.
Yeah.
Yes. Any questions?
You have to focus on just being the best person you can in life.
Yeah.
And not think about being resurrected. Because that's a stage that comes.
But
so
resurrected,
much
that's
later.
Hashem is going to take care of it.
That's not our business.
Right. Your business is to be the best you can be, to share the most goodness that you can, and that's where you're building your future. You're building your olam haba, right? Eventually, all this matrix, all this system is going to disappear, and we're going to live in a completely spiritual world, right? And it's going to be left all the positive energy that you have created, right? So let's say I help a poor person in the street, right? And I give him money, and because of that, he can buy food, and he survives one more day, and because of that, he finds a job and all that. So all that goodness that you have created, positive energy, you're going to sit in your olam haba, and you're not even going to remember that you have that person, and because of you have that person, he was able to have a life for himself and have children and all that, and you're going to have the reward, the positive energy of everything that was all the chain reaction that you have created of positivity.
Even if he's not Jewish?
Even if he's not Jewish. Yeah, non-Jews are good people too.
Of course.
We are here to be a light into the nation. You know, the reason they're Jews is because they're non-Jews. That's what we're here for. We're supposed to help the world.
Right.
Recognize God. That's what we're here for. We're not here for the Jews. We're here for the world, for humanity. Adam Arishon contained the souls of all Jews and non-Jewish people. Everybody comes from Adam Arishon. But there are souls who were more elevated and less elevated. So when we decide, say Nasev Nishma, Mount Sinai, when Abraham decided to convert, he got a special boost in his soul, right? It's like Neo being connected. You're connected to the whole matrix, so that when you do a mitzvah, when you do a positive action, your Jewish soul is connected to the source, and the entire world is affected by it, and you're elevating everyone and all the non-Jews, all that, so that eventually we're able to elevate everyone and become one Adam again. One Adam with all the souls together, but unified. One unified consciousness. That's what we want to try to that's what we're here for. So it's very important to remember that we have to be an inspiration. You take your job as a Jew much more seriously, and actually, there's some rabbis who say you don't realize if you're someone who goes work in the city, work like with non-Jews, you have so much responsibility and so much opportunity to be a Kiddush Hashem. The greatest mitzvah of all the mitzvot, from all 613 mitzvot, the greatest mitzvah is Kiddush Hashem. The worst of all the averot is Chilul Hashem. Right? Because you can be an inspiration for everyone, Or you can be, oh, look at those Jews, what they do. Right? We have to be careful. So when you go to a public place, you can influence people much more, especially if they know you're Jewish. Right? That's why as a Jew, kippah will look a bit Jewish, so that people, so that's why I tell people, be careful when you put your kippah, you're in danger. Because people are going to judge you and judge the Jewish people because of you. So I have to be extra careful. I have to be careful how I speak. I have to be careful how I behave. I have to be careful how I behave, right? Everything that I do, so that I'm a role model, and non-Jews should look at you and say, "Wow, I want to be holy like Medina. I want to be holy like Isabella. I want to be holy like Igor. I want to be special like them." That's what, yeah.
I have a question about like people who are married. I heard this concept from a rabbi, and I don't know. I feel like I don't agree with it. So he said that when there are couples, husband and wife, the wife doesn't get into the next life without her husband. So it's the wife's responsibility to help him become better.
Well, they're responsible for each other.
So there's no
A man has to be responsible for his wife, and wife for his man. It's just not. It's never one way.
Our own deeds.
But yeah, we have to try to elevate the husband, and the husband try to elevate the wife. But it goes together. It can't be just one way.
So if he's not getting in and he's like a cadet, let's say, then the wife also doesn't, no matter what?
It depends the level of free choice you had at the time. But yeah, you elevate each other or bring each other down. It's like the story of the guy in the boat, right? And one guy in the boat makes a hole and say, hey, what are you doing? We're all going to drown. Don't worry, it's just under my seat. It's like, dude, we're on the same boat. The family, if I do something wrong in my family, my whole family is going to suffer, right? We are like wired to each other, right? You know that when you do a mitzvah, you affect all of us. We're all affected. When I do an avera, I affect all of you.
So it's true.
We're all interconnected. And that's why it's so important to not speak Lashon Hara. It's so important to be united. Our strongest power is when we're united. When we're united, nobody can touch us. No missiles can touch us. When you're united, because we're like one being, we're all connected. So we're strong together.
The person is making a hole in the boat, and you can't make him stop. It's better to just leave him or throw him off the boat.
Oh, well, I hear you. Sometimes, and that's why sometimes it's a mitzvah to divorce.
Right.
Sometimes it's a mitzvah to divorce. We say, when you give the get, they both have to say mazel tov to each other.
Wow.
Right? Because that's right. Because sometimes you cannot force someone to be good if they're too self-centered, narcissistic personality, and they don't care about the rest. And you don't want to be associated with them.
What happens to those women that don't get a get then? That means that's it, they're stuck. Right?
Well, yeah, sometimes they're stuck, but we have to beat up the husband a little bit to make sure he
I wish we could actually do that.
send him to me. I'll send him the mob. No, unfortunately, there's souls who are like, have something negative with them, and we have to take care of those unique cases. But yeah. But let's remember, it says "Bischut nashim tzidkaniot," that what we're going to be saved at the end of days, thanks to the righteous women. It's interesting, right? It doesn't say about thanks to the righteous men. So maybe to the tzaddikim of the generation. No, we're going to be saved thanks to the righteous women. So,
question, is it true that parents can influence the success of their kids via, for example, the kids get married sooner than later?
yeah,
Is that a concept in Judaism? Or
that you're going to affect the...
that, let's say the parents, right? Let's say their actions or whatever. I heard this recently, so I wanted to bring it up. That it can affect the success of their children. So one rabbi said there's no correlation, and another rabbi like there is. So I don't know.
Nowadays, prayer, first of all, is the strongest thing you can do for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer. There's nothing more powerful than the vibration of the words that come out of your mouth. our weapon as Jews is prayer. Right? It's the power of Moshiach. He's going to say things going to happen like that. It's through prayer, like Moshe Rabbeinu. That's the true power is in prayer. Nothing more powerful than prayer, especially if you believe that everything you say has an impact. So prayer, and then your behavior. Obviously, the more positivity you bring in the more you do mitzvah, the more you do things that are positive in your life, the more your children are going to inherit the goodness of everything you do. Yes. We don't have righteous children, no. Yeah, you have a question?
So, like, with the spiritualism, like, what would be the origin of it? Like how?
Origin of?
Like, Kabbalah, like.
Origin of Kabbalah?
Yeah, like.
Oh, Kabbalah is integral part of the Torah. There's 4 levels of explanation of the Torah, right? There's the Pshat, right, which is the literal meaning. Then there's the Remez. Remez is the hints, like numerology, like gematria, hints. Then there's the drash, like the midrash. Those are the metaphors when you explain something on a higher level for understanding. And then you have the sod, which is the secret. If you take the first letter of those 4, what is called Pardes, which is the orchard of how to completely understand the Torah. So there's 4 levels of understanding the Torah, and we need to learn all 4. The Arizal says that you will have to be reincarnated again and again until you learn all 4. Because your soul is connected to the Torah. As if you want your soul to be complete, you need to learn all 4. So we have to push ourselves to learn all 4 levels of understanding. But all that was given to Moshe Rabbeinu at Mount Sinai, and Moses taught it in the desert during the 40 years to the people, and then he was kept into the tradition until it was eventually written down in the Talmud. In the Talmud, Kabbalah, there's a lot of Kabbalah in the Talmud, but you have to know how to recognize it. Everything is hidden. You have to decode the Talmud. There's ways to learn the Talmud. And then it was written in Midrash, and finally it was written by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in the Zohar, one of the main texts of Kabbalah. And that's where it's more direct, but nobody can read the Zohar just like that. There's a code. You have to be taught how to read the code. Like someone needs to learn how to read the matrix, right? You have to learn how to read the code. If you don't know how to read the code, you cannot understand the Zohar, because it's meant to be kept secret so that people don't misuse it and misinterpret it. But it's completely integral part of the knowledge of what the Torah is. Yeah.
Can I have one more question?
Of
about
course.
the thing
I love
you
questions.
asked earlier? So, like, it's nice that there's this concept of, like, you can just walk away from somebody that's dragging you down. But what happens to these people? Like, do they all just get abandoned and then they just...
No, well, they need to find their own way, reconnect to God and find their own path and how to become better people. Hashem always is going to push you and push you and put you in a situation where you get another opportunity to sin or to become a better person. So Hashem will take care of them. Hashem is here, is running the world, and you do your part of what you could do to help, but you don't let yourself being dragged down with another soul because you want to be nice or you want to be. Sometimes some souls are not well and need a lot of healing, and they're too sick for you to help them. You're going to get sick with them, and that's not good. So you have to make space. COVID-19, social distancing, 6 feet, and then when you get better, we can talk again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions? Good, we resolved all the mysteries of creation? Okay, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem.
Just a little tiny bit of it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I don't know anything. I'm like, I know only the little bit, like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. says, all I know is that I know nothing. It's so much. The Torah is so huge. I've been learning Torah for 30 years straight and still feel like I don't know anything. Because there's always more, it's infinite. The Torah is infinite and there's always more to learn, more to understand, more to grow. And Baruch Hashem, it's amazing. But always keep asking questions. Question is the key. Why we do things, the more meaning and Kabbalah, the Ramchal say, the more you understand the Torah, the more you understand what you're doing, the more the energy is pure and strong and affects the world. It's like a husband and a wife, the more they talk really out of love, the more the other person feels the love, right? Because it's the energy. Same thing, the more you do things for Hashem out of love, out of understanding, the more the energy is pure and strong and the more the world gets rectified. So it's important to know what we're doing and why. And Bezat Hashem, we'll fix the world together.
Thank you.
A pleasure. Thank you everyone for listening. And hopefully we'll see each other again, hopefully with Moshiach, but if not, with me and Isabella, with Rage.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Guys, please sign in if you did not sign in. I saw the sign in.
Yeah. If you sign in, you're guaranteed in place in Olam Haba.
This is the scan.
It's a digital sign.
Just scan it. Yes, you can sign in.
Fancy now.
Yeah. Thank you all for making it out tonight.